I'm at Restaurante and Adega de Césare. This place is in Rio de Janeiro or Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And this place should be a national monument. This place should be famous. But it's just a normal little restaurant. Nothing big. Sometimes they have performances here. But something amazing happened here 74 years ago. 74 years ago was 1952. In 1952, there was a young pianist named Johnny Alf who played here. He got the gig from a friend of his named Dick Farney. Dick Farney founded a music social club called Sinatra Farney Fan Club. This was for Brazilian musicians who were into American jazz music. This was founded in the 1940s. And Dick Farney was a Brazilian pianist who founded the club, and they were fans of Sinatra and American jazz music at that time period. So Johnny Alf was given a job as a house pianist at this location, this exact location, this very place. It got renamed into the place that you saw earlier, but it was called the Cantina de Césare. The reason why this is important is because it boggles my mind, and especially for Black History Month. Look, Johnny Alf was classically trained, and he loved American jazz music, and he also loved samba. So he, at this very place, in here, he was experimenting and created a sound that was developed and later called Bossa Nova. This basically is the birthplace of Bossa Nova. But do you see any plaques? Do you see anything special here to say that? No. Why is that? Right now I'm in Rio de Janeiro in Copacabana, and there is, not far from here, like a 20-minute walk away from here, a statue of Antonio Carlos Jobim. Antonio Carlos Jobim, of course, many people know The Girl from Ipanema, which is the most famous song. It's on Ipanema Beach, like not far from here at all. And there's a statue of him, you know. And then people know about João Gilberto, another great Bossa Nova artist. He released what's considered the first Bossa Nova album in 1959. That's 1959. Johnny Alf, at this place in 1952, was playing some of his early music, and he recorded a song called Rapaz Jabim. It looks like Rapaz Jabim, but it's Rapaz Jabim, and it's considered the first Bossa Nova composition, period, ever. Antonio Carlos Jobim, João Gilberto, many others, they jammed with Johnny at his jam sessions. One is here, this place. The other place was called Hotel Plaza, but he created Rapaz Jabim and Sio Emar, and people were hearing this for the first time, and the sound of what we call Bossa Nova. And this happened 6 years before the first recognized Bossa Nova album came out, Cheguei Já Saudade. My pronunciation in Portuguese is bad, so forgive me. But that was João Gilberto's album. And that was 6 years after Johnny Alf created his two songs that were so-called proto-Bossa Nova. But you have to start with the roots somewhere. So he created the sound, he created the idea. But why don't you know about him? Because Johnny Alf was a black man, a black pianist in the 1950s. Not only was he black, he was homosexual, which in many parts of the world, especially in the States, but in Brazil too, was illegal. You can get jailed for that. So a black gay man created what we all know now to be Bossa Nova. It gets no props, nothing. Are you surprised though? 1950s, as a black man, it doesn't matter if it was States or Brazil. And that's what happened. But it happened here, this place. Bossa Nova was created here 74 years ago because of a house musician, house pianist named Johnny Alf, who didn't get the props that he deserved. And then others who learned from him, who jammed with him, who were white. Antonio and João and so many others. The list goes on and on. But he didn't get his props, and he died March 4th, 2010. So now it's been 16 years since his passing. at age of 80 because of prostate cancer. And he died penniless. They're working on a documentary, but people should be lined up coming here to pay homage in respect to this man. And there's nothing to signify that he was here. I just had to do a research online to see where he played. The other place he played, at the Hotel Plaza, that place has been demolished and it's now a whole big complex that it removes all traces. This is the only place that actually is the exact same location and is the same venue, except the name has changed. Maybe they've made some modifications over the past 74 years, but it's the same spot. Johnny Alf, Cantina do Césare, now called Restaurante Adega do Césare. So they kept the Césare name in here. And he deserves so much credit. He deserves so much accolades. He deserves Black history, world history, Brazilian history. He needs to have a national day. But even in 2026, a Black gay man who created a genre that put a whole country on the map, aside from Pelé with football, and there's no trace of him here. There's nothing to signify that he did what he did, and that's a damn shame. I'm just glad that I'm here to pay homage to him in my small little way. I don't know if it'll really make a difference to anybody, but I just wanted to do it myself.